Okay, so yesterday we watched the video, My Past Keeps Kicking My Ass. And I think that was a very important video because it gives us an opportunity to look within. And one of the reasons why I put that video out is because I want you to realize by now that a lot of the issues that you're facing, a lot of the challenges in life, they stem from unresolved issues from our past. And a lot of times we're not willing to look and to connect the dots. And that's one of the reasons why the journals are here. Because the stuff that's said to us in our past, in our childhood, is so subtle. And it's so subtle that we're not aware of it. And being that we're not aware of it, we can't really act on this subconscious information that we keep processing and making our choices with, because it's just not in the conscious mind. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday. She's a poet, very beautiful poet, very beautiful spirit. And she's searching and seeking, and she said to me, Kirk, that's so important when it comes to relationships, because when I was growing up, my mom kept saying, never depend on a man, never depend on a man, never depend on a man. And this was a program that played back in her head all the time, never depend on a man. So now she's an adult, and she said, Kirk, all I have met, all I've attracted is just men that I'm not able to depend on. They're not dependable emotionally, they're not dependable physically, they're not dependable financially. I just cannot depend on them. The other message that her mom kept saying to her was, men only want one thing from you. Men only want one thing from you. Now, she's not aware that this is playing in her mind on the subconscious level. But every time she meets a man and they get that so-called one thing, they're gone. So she has this program that kept playing in her mind. And she said, Kirk, I wasn't aware of it. But deep down inside of me, I never wanted my mom to be wrong. And because of that, she always wanted to prove her mom right. She started attracting these scenarios that's not serving her. And we do that on so many different levels. It was Stephen Biko who said, the greatest weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. So we have to be very vigilant of what we allow into the mind. Because right now, if you take a look at the news, just what's going on in the news, and we see, oh, the economy's bad, the economy's bad. You keep hearing that and you keep processing that information. All of a sudden, you filter out any opportunity. You start thinking, oh, well, that wouldn't work for me, or that doesn't work, or that's a scheme. Because the mind keeps filtering this information, filtering in the information that keeps telling you the economy is bad, the economy is bad. So be very careful what you put into your mind. Now, going back to the childhood and paying attention to what's going on and how we heal this process, you need to get with your journals if you want to heal the process, if you want to start connecting the dots. We spoke about this before, but I want you to get your journals, and I want you to do what is called a silent fast. That's how I was able to come up with all the stuff that was going on with me that was on the subconscious. In the subconscious, they came to the surface when I did this silent fast. And you might have to do it more than once. A silent fast is basically where you shut out all external noises. Turn the television off, turn the radio, turn whatever, the internet, shut everything out and just be silent. Sometimes I would do silent fast for an entire weekend. Sometimes I did it for a week. But back then, I was living on my own, so it was easier to do. I don't know what your situation is, but you want to set aside even 2 hours and say, I'm just going to do a silent fast. And start being regular with that. Start intending that I want to know what's standing in my way. I want to know what's blocking me, and get silent. Get with your journal, and you'll begin to see the pattern. You'll start seeing the patterns that comes up. You'll see the patterns that you've been repeating in your life. You'll see the agreements that you have in your life. Agreements meaning you made an agreement. Well, you know what? I'm never going to let anyone use me. And you're not even conscious that you made that agreement. So now when you come into a relationship, you're guarded. And the same cell or prison or guard that you use to lock everyone out, it also locks you in. So you have to drop your guard. You have to be open. And a lot of people, a lot of times, are not willing to be vulnerable, not willing to be open. And that's the only way that you're going to heal the patterns of the past. When it comes to words, we spoke about this before, how important words are. You have to pay attention, because we're not realizing just how powerful our words are. Words manifest, especially now more than ever. We're in an accelerated time. I just haven't explained that as yet, but you have to well, I'm not wanting to say trust me on this, because you shouldn't take my word as a gospel. I never want you to do it and, oh, Kirk is the expert, he said. I want you to do your own research, your own due diligence. But we're in an accelerated time right now where things are happening much quicker. And why it's so important to pay attention to your words. I know one young lady, everything that happened, oh, that person's a pain in the ass. She's a pain in the ass. That's a pain in the ass. A couple months later, she developed hemorrhoids. Now she is literally walking around with a pain in the ass. And she has no idea how she manifested this pain in the ass. But she spoke that into existence. So we have to really pay attention to what we're letting in, because if you could really take control of the mind, take control of what's going on the subconscious level, bring it to the surface and examine it, you could heal all area of your life. I told you before, cancer, diabetes, all these illnesses tied to some sort of unforgiveness, some sort of resentment, some sort of aggression. So if you could bring the issues up from out of the deep and bring it to the surface, bring it to the light, because the light heals everything. The light transmutes everything. So you really want to look at that. You want to pay attention to what's going on and start healing your life. Get your journal out, get serious, get quiet. Intend that you're going to take your life to the next level. This is your intention. You want to find your clarity. You want to know what's going on with you. Again, going back to the movie The Matrix. I love The Matrix. One of the first things that the Oracle told Neo, know thyself. You have to know what is it that makes you you. What is it that, what are your triggers? What is it that sets you off, so to speak? Because I've been in relationships before, and I'm listening to this woman arguing with me, and I'm saying, she's not arguing with me. Because the things that she's saying, those are not my issues. She's still having a conversation with her last man. But she's there yelling and going off at me. I'm a very peaceful person. You don't need to yell. You just got to say it once. So we do this all the time in our relationships. We do it all the time in our lives. Get quiet. Get settled. Get your journal out. Intend that you want to know clarity. You want to know what's going on in your life, and become silent. Block the noise out. Block the television. Block the radio. Block the internet. Block everything. And just become quiet and wait for the answers. Sit there and wait for the answers. If it doesn't come today, sit there tomorrow and wait for the answers. And keep on doing that. And you will develop this level of clarity. And once you get that clarity, you will develop courage. Courage to step out into other areas of your life. So I just want to leave that with you, and we'll again pick up more tomorrow. Any questions, make sure you email your questions, because I'm getting questions. The brother from Ireland, I'm going to email you back. I got your question now, I'll definitely just email you back. It will be much easier that way. And anybody else, just keep asking your questions and I'll address them. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.